What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about players that are probably going to be upgraded from NBA 2K20 MyTEAM to NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So obviously my making of card art is not very good. Huge shout out to, well, there's nobody mentioning it who made, well, Deep into Q15 made it, but I completely butchered his card template just so that I get something that looks somewhat like 2K21 cards on the page, but I completely butchered that template. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be talking about guys that are going to be updated. We know for a fact that the tiers are the exact same. So we know for a fact that, like, say, Sapphire is going to be one of the kind of mid-tier players as far as I know. Well, we don't know for a fact. It's looking very likely with the way that they're giving free cards out. Like, it's unlikely to give out a free card pre-order that's better than any other card, as well as like the Evo Sapphire to Ruby Kobe Bryant. So at least we know anyway with the tiers, it's looking like Galaxy Opals, Pink Diamonds are all going to be the same ratings. And I'm also assuming that. So it's likely the case, so I think we're going to go on to it now. So the first player we have got here is Tim Hardaway Jr. So Tim Hardaway Jr. started off, it was a very weird one that he started off as a silver card. It was, like, don't get me wrong, it was a very, very strange one. Like, of all of the cards, you think Tim Hardaway Jr. is one of the best silvers, because last year he averaged 19.1 points per game when he was with the New York Knicks. And then when he went to Dallas, he averaged 15.5. So he averaged 18.1 points per game for his whole season last year. And while this season he went down to 15.8 points per game, he was a very, very solid starter, starting 50 games for a team that is more than likely going to make the playoffs. Like, man, record-wise, they were without question going to make the playoffs, whatever about the play-in games and stuff. But Tim Hardaway Jr. has had a pretty good season. He's shooting 41% from three, which is really high. Shooting 44% from the field, which is not great, but it's still the best of his career. Actually, no, sorry, he had one season in Atlanta where it was a little bit higher. Free throw shooting 80%. Overall, a good season for Tim Hardaway Jr. And he's kind of established himself as a good starter, as a threat for a playoff team. So I think he's going up to an emerald. I really do think he's going up to an emerald. I think he's probably going to be a low-rated emerald, 80 overall. But being a guy that can average that in a playoff team, you gotta make him an emerald. Worst case scenario, like a 79 overall gold. Then we have got Zion Williamson. So Zion Williamson started off this year as a gold card, which is to be expected. I think all the rookies are going to start off as gold cards because you just never really know what they're going to do. And before he played an NBA game, he had a diamond card. He then ended up getting a pink diamond card straight away, and he has a Galaxy Opal card as well. So Zion Williamson has only played in 19 NBA games. I still think he's going up to a Sapphire. I still think he's going up to an 86 overall high-rated Sapphire. And the reason for that, in his 19 games, he's averaging 23.6 points per game in only 29 minutes per game. This is like Embiid rookie numbers all over again. He is shooting 60% from inside the three-point line. He is shooting 46% from three, albeit on not a lot of attempts. He's still shooting 46% from three. He's averaging 6.8 rebounds per game, 0.5 blocks, 0.8 steals, 2.2 assists. And honestly, Zion Williamson, do I think he will end up winning Rookie of the Year? No. Do I think he'll end up being as good a player as Ja Morant? Also no. Do I think he is going to be a multiple-time All-Star? Do I think he'll be an All-Star next year? Without question. 86 overall is my prediction for him. Next, we have got his teammate, Brandon Ingram. So Brandon Ingram came from the Los Angeles Lakers, and he was part of the trade for Anthony Davis. That is a huge win-win trade. That's all I'm going to say. It is a massive, massive win-win trade. Brandon Ingram started off as a goal last year after not a great year for LA. Although, like, I don't think it's as bad a year as a lot of people thought it was. Like, he did average 18.3 points per game, albeit for not a spectacular Lakers team. However, at the end of the day, like, he was still an elite scorer, and this season, averaging 24.3 points per game, he was an all-star. I don't think you can make him less than a Sapphire. I think he's going to be an 85 overall Sapphire. Considering that a lot of non-all-stars are going to get that tier, I think you can't make Brandon Ingram less than a Sapphire. Worst case scenario, he's an 83 overall Emerald, but I think he's going to be an 85 overall Sapphire. That is my prediction. Next up, we have got a guy who joined the Indiana Pacers, and has been incredible. So it's former Rookie of the Year Malcolm Brogdon. Started off last year as an Emerald, so he's the highest overall player we've seen so far. And even if you're just kind of looking at his stats, he doesn't appear to have improved too much. Like, he's gone from 15.6 points to 16.3 points per game. And I just think overall with Brogdon, he's shown that he can be the best, second best player on a good team, which is something we weren't entirely sure of in Milwaukee. Although he did average better shooting splits, I still think Malcolm Brogdon is going up to an 84 overall Sapphire card. I do also think that Domantas Sabonis is going up as well. He was a gold, I think, but I'm going to put Malcolm Brogdon on this. I might end up if this video does well, I might end up making a part 2. I'm going to do downgrades as well, probably tomorrow or the next day. But I will if this video goes down well, I will make a part 2. But if there's a part 2, you better believe Domantas Sabonis is going to be in it. Next, we've got a bit of a weird one. So this one's probably the least likely to be true, but it's Chris Middleton. So Chris Middleton was an Emerald last year, or in 2K20, 83 overall he started off at. This year, Chris Middleton went up from 18.3 points per game to 21.6 points per game. However, he actually went down from Sapphire in NBA 2K19 to Emerald in 2K20. And in this year, I get it, he picked up his points per game to 21.1. And he's actually doing, like, he's high in the MVP race. I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in the MVP race voting. Like Chris Middleton, a lot of people think he's been, just for this season alone, a top maybe 15 player. And I don't think 2K rate him higher than 85. I don't think 2K rate Chris Middleton higher than Zion Williamson. Unless he has a really good bubble. And the reason is that it's not really an exciting name. And 2K rate a lot of the time based on name. Hence why, I think, was it rookie Jayson Tatum? Jayson Tatum after his rookie year was rated higher than Blake Griffin, who had just come off an all-star year. So hype is a big factor for 2K overall, and I can't see them putting Chris Middleton in the Ruby tier, which is going to have the likes of Westbrook. It's going to have, trying to think of what players may not have had great seasons that were Sapphires, or say that were Emeralds, or Amethysts, struggling to speak. But all of them had pretty good years, or they were injured, so I don't see that happening. They're not going to have him with Trae Young. They're not going to probably have him with the Siakams of the world. So for that reason, I think Chris Middleton, 85 overall. He's had a fantastic year. Absolutely fantastic year. 21.1 points per game for the best regular season team in basketball. Unless they win the title, he's not going above a Sapphire. I'm telling you that right now. Next, we have got Jayson Tatum. So Jayson Tatum was a Sapphire card after his rookie year, where he only averaged 13.9 points per game. He actually picked up his scoring, but went down to an Emerald. I think a big reason for that was because, obviously, the hype of the playoffs for his rookie year. However, this season he stepped up. He's, without question, he's an all-star level player. Shooting 40% from 3, shooting 45% from the field. He's also averaging 23.6 points per game for a really good Boston Celtics team. So I can see him getting upgraded from an 83 overall. I think he's going to 89. I think he is going up to an 89 overall Ruby card. Maybe I'm overdoing it with the hype, but you better believe people are hyped about Jayson Tatum in real life. And also the fact that a Tatum being at 89 might get more people to open packs, initially anyway. So I think Jayson Tatum, 89 overall Ruby is my prediction. Is it a bit of a bold prediction? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think he's going to go up 2 tiers to a Ruby. Then we have got Trae Young. Trae Young had a good rookie year, averaging 19.1 points per game. There is no question about it, he did not deserve to win Rookie of the Year over Luka, which some people are trying to argue. But this season, albeit the Hawks are really bad. However, Trae Young is averaging 29.6 points per game and 9.3 assists per game, while shooting 36% from 3, which is not a bad percentage with the amount that he shoots. However, at the same time, it'll be interesting to see how Trae Young progresses in his career. If it's just empty stats he's putting up, or if he will be an elite point guard. However, putting up 30 points a game, you cannot be less than a Ruby card in this game. You can't. He is not going to be less than a Ruby card in the game this year. He's putting up 30 a game. He was an all-star starter. He's an 87 overall Ruby in my prediction. He's not going to be as high as the Westbrooks of the world, but he is going to be a Ruby, without question. Next, we've got probably the biggest upgrade from from 2K20 to next year. It is a guy who started off as a bronze. And this guy is the most annoying player in my team, his bronze card, because anytime if you try to put bronzes on the bench at the end of your bench and you have him on the bench, 90% of the time he will go in as your point guard for some reason. Even over like amethysts, he'll go in unless you have a diamond or above. He most of the time will go in as your point guard. He went from averaging 4.7 points per game in his rookie year to averaging 18.2 points per game for the Charlotte Hornets. His 3-point percentage went up 10%. On 9.3 attempts, he's shooting 37% from 3. Field goal percentage isn't the greatest, like 38%. And shooting pretty well from the line. As well as that, averaging 7.5 assists per game. Because the Charlotte Hornets are not a great team, I personally think that he's only going to be an 81 overall Emerald card. However, if he ends up being a Sapphire, I would not be surprised. Or a higher overall Emerald. Like, I'm being very, very like kind of low with my estimate for him. I honestly think that he could be higher. He could honestly be higher, but I'm going to go with 81 for now. Going to go with 81. Next, we have got Bam Adebayo, an all-star for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo started this year as a gold card. He had a fantastic year, went from 8.9 points per game to 16.2 points per game. Not only that, his defense was his biggest thing, as well as that the Miami Heat are way better this year. So he's probably the second best player for a really good team. And man, as a Miami Heat fan, I was annoyed when we drafted him. You better believe I'm not annoyed now. He doesn't shoot the ball well at all. He did win the skills challenge by hitting some jump shots. And if you were to judge by my team this year, you'd think he was a sniper, but he can't shoot. However, he is shooting 57% from the field inside the 3-point line. Not a great free throw shooter, but averaging 10.5 rebounds per game and is an elite defender. So for that reason, I was also 5.1 assists, which is not bad. For that reason, as well as his all-star, making an all-star team, I think he's going to be an 86 overall Sapphire card. I think his current day card will be beyond worthless. I think it will be useless in game. However, I think it's going to be a Sapphire. Next, the guy that could be a great card in game. It's Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam just gets better and better and better. After his first year in the NBA, averaging 4.2 points per game. Second year, 7.3 points per game. And 17-18, like 7.3 points that year for a really good Raptors team. Like, obviously they lost to LeBron, basically. That 2018 Cavs team is basically just LeBron. They lost him in the playoffs, but Siakam had a good season. Last season, winning most improved player, going up to 16.9 points per game, winning a ring, that got him a Sapphire card. However, I think this season, the Raptors are looking almost as good. I don't think they're going to be as much of a threat in the playoffs, but regular season, they're looking almost as good. He is averaging 23.6 points per game. As well as that, he's still shooting a decent percentage from 3, 35.9. However, one downside is that last season he shot 55% from the field. This season he's shooting 46, which is not ideal. But still, I feel like Pascal Siakam has done enough to get himself an 88 overall card. 88 overall diamond card, or ruby card. I think he's going to step up big time in the playoffs in the bubble. I think he's going to be an 88 overall ruby. So one rating higher than Trae Young, one below Jayson Tatum. And last up is my favorite player in basketball currently, Luka Doncic. The guy who is probably going to be one of the top players in the MVP race. It was looking at one stage like he might have been the youngest MVP ever at the start of this year. And considering the fact that he doesn't rely on athleticism, he could have a 20-year NBA career, unless like barring injury, or if he stays in shape. So averaging 28.7 points per game, 9.3 rebounds per game, and 8.7 assists per game. He averaged a triple-double through the month of November. As well as that, the Mavs are really good. Like, offensively, the Mavs, through the first 50 whatever games of the season before it got cancelled, have the most effective offense in NBA history. And a lot of that is because of this guy right here. I think he's going to be an 89 overall ruby, potentially a 90 overall amethyst, but I think ruby's more likely. And also, I personally think that he's not going to be able to play the point guard position. Because I don't think the base cards of Simmons or Luka are going to be able to play point guard. I do not think day one we see a point guard that is above 6'5". I'm saying that right now. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Again, shout out to Deep in the Queue for making the theme or the card theme, and I'm sorry for completely butchering the template. It was just to get some quick stuff out for the video. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the air, my hand.